Going live, going live, going live. Oh man, going live. Remember to guard your community. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by a community guideline. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by a community guideline. Oh, where my sponge? I ain't got my sponge. I ain't got my sponge. How's everybody doing this morning? It's a Taco Tuesday. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, man. This is the #1 podcast in the land. Vertical Live, coming in live. On your FYP. Hashtag FYP on your vertical. On your vertical live on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for providing us this fire platform so we can interact with everybody around the nation, around the country. Fire live stream, get it going this morning. Everybody come on in the chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines is so important. It's so important. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guide by our community guidelines. First in the chat, get shouted out. First in the chat, get shouted out without a doubt. First in the chat, get shouted out on this Mega Macho Mucho Taco Tuesday. Mega Macho Mucho Taco Tuesday. Perfect Summer Podcast in the building. Come on in, everybody. Everybody get yourself in here, man. Get yourself in here, man. I'm looking for something to hit up this fro, as you know. But I didn't move my sponge, man. How's everybody doing today, man? Come on in. Lot to talk about this morning. Lots to talk about this morning. Yes, sir. We are very excited. Taco Tuesday. Yeah, I've been off for a couple days. Mega Monday. Yes, there's so much is going on geopolitically, domestically. So much is going on domestically, geopolitically, and we're going to cover the whole spectrum this morning. Mr. Boski with the mosty in the building. Shout out to your brother. How you doing, man? Good morning to you. Welcome to the livest chat, the livest podcast. Join the chat. Double tap right now. Everybody with a cell phone. You know you got that chevron on the side, that down-facing chevron. Hit that chevron on the lower right-hand corner. It's going to give you the option to hit a heart, hit a laugh, hit a 100. Don't hit that the whole time, man. Keep tapping the phone the whole time. Everybody watching that support the channel, what I need you to, there you go, baby. Double tap the phone the whole time you watch. That's all you got to do. Double tap the phone the whole time. There we go. Keep double tapping. Double tap. Let them know where you're at, man. Double tap to let them know where you're at. Double tap to let them know where you're at. Hit the like button while you're at it. Double tap to let them know where you're at, man. How they gonna know, man? They gonna know? No, they not gonna know. Double tap to let them know where you're at. Double tap to let them know where you're at. Double tap the screen. That's what you do, man. Yeah, man. Keep hitting that double tap, man. Welcome, everybody. Double tap. Hit the like button. My name is Perfect. You at the livest broadcast on YouTube. Vertical Live on your hashtag FYP. Trump news. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Who just came in the building? KK. And the Render Show. What's up with you, KK? Good morning, man. We're going to have a talk, man. Where you find yourself at in the political spectrum? How do you come down? Is you with the Trump MAGA? This is Make America First over here. MAGA, Mucho Taco Tuesday. Where you come out? You come down on the MAGA side. You come down on the sleepy side. Or you're sleepy, or you're sleepy. Or you're still asleep, or you're sleeping away on the plane. Sleep, Joe. Sleep chariot coming forth to carry me home. Swing Joe, sleepy Joseph coming up. You ain't black unless you vote for me. I just need to know where you fall on the political spectrum. You ain't black unless you vote for me. You know, Sleepy Joe. You know, it's a hashtag. Today on Twitter, you know who's trending? Sleepy Joe is trending. They said, is he the worst president since Jimmy Carter. I think it's relevant. We can have that talk maybe later on this week. But just so I'm doing good and I'm awake. She said, I'm awake. She said, I ain't been asleep. I was bored yesterday, but I stayed up all night long. All night long. All night. Yeah, man. We getting the Blexit off that plantation, man. We got the Blexit off that plantation. What plantation? The Democratic plantation. All night long. Yes, it says I stayed up, man. I was bored yesterday, but I didn't get no sleep, man. I'm wide awake, man. Yeah, we wide awake over here too, man. Mega, mucho taco Tuesday with a lot to talk about. You see, I'm excited because it's victories over victories over victories over victories. Mega, all we do is victory. Oh, they're getting so upset. They don't know what. They want to cause an incident. They want to cause a civil. They want violence. They don't want to do anything but finally people being honest. The Democrats have no power. The Democrats have no direction. Finally, on the news this weekend, why did the Democrats, number one, they admitted that they shut the government down. They admitted, now, didn't I tell you the Democrats, I said, get the Blexit out of there. I said, where do black people work? I read the statistic, disproportionately, black people work for the federal government, over 18% when we're only 13% of the population. So I explained to my audience, KK, that disproportionately, negatively, a government shutdown affects the black community who votes Democrat over 90% of the time, because overwhelmingly an abnormal portion of the black community vote works at the federal government. And the feds understand this, the Democrats understand this. And finally this weekend, can we get a hand clap? Can we have a talk this morning? I just came to have an honest talk this morning. I said it weeks ago. I'm the one who said it on the first day of the government been shut down 2 weeks. What did I say? I said the Democrats shut down the government. After weeks of the government being shut down, you've been furloughed, not getting a job. The Democrats and Chuck Schumer finally admit, yes, this is the only power they have. They don't have any power in the Senate, in the House. So they shut down the government. Thank you for admitting the truth. So independent media, MAGA journalists like myself don't have to yell into the telephone anymore. Woo! Democrats, where you at? Democrats, where you at? Democrats, where you at? Yes, they admitted on, they do the weekend news shows, Saturday, Sunday, Van Jones. They finally admitted that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats did shut down the government. They are arguing, though, they are justified in shut down the government. What gets left out is who gets affected when the Democrats pull the lever. See, the Democrats pulled the lever and pulled the rug out underneath your black ass. That's why I asked KK when she came in, where do you fall down? Did you Blexit or you still on the plantation? Because do you see what just happened? I don't got to go back to 2024, 2022, 2023. We could stay in 2025. I said we could stay in 2025. We could stay at minimum wage, $7 an hour. We could stay at minimum wage. We could stay at Chuck Schumer and the Democrats who think that they own black votes. Can we have an honest talk this morning? I said we could stay at Chuck Schumer and the Democrats that think they own your black vote. They think they own your black ass. Biden said, if you black, you got to vote for me. And if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So check out the Democrats. They finally admit that they use you. I said they've been using you in Chicago. I said they've been using you in D.C. I said they use your blood. They blood, dead bodies, gang violence, and drugs. Democrats use you for fodder, slaughter. That's all you are to the Democrats. Another dead body gets me elected. Another dead body gets me a promotion. Put them all on RICO. Put all the black people in jail so a Democrat, black, white, purple, or green, can get elected and get promoted. That's what they do to you. And once again, Chuck Schumer, your faithful Democrats, are you true blue? Are you true blue? Who true blue this morning? Are you true blue? with a true blue that came for you. True blue that came for you. Because see, what did happen is Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, to prove my point, they finally had to admit they are the one keeping the government closed. But what's not talked about is who is disproportionately negatively affected by the government shutdown. Because what did they tell you over the weekend? Donald Trump and his federal government is keeping open certain portions of the government. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Everybody coming in right now, double tap, hit the like button. Down in your right hand corner, there's a downward facing chevron. Hit that chevron and hit that heart emoji, hit that 100 emoji, and let everybody know where you're at. This is what I'm gonna tell you to do. Double tap to let them know where you're at. Double tap to let them know where you're at. Double tap to let them know where you're at, because we having a fire conversation this morning. We talking about Trump Middle East wins versus American protest wave. So we have a peace deal. I said, well, you see my thumbnail. I said, we have a peace deal. Now, if you're a member of my audience, you already aware of the 21-point plan. We talked about the 21-point plan. A lot of people only saw the 21-point plan when Trump presented it to Bibi Netanyahu, but it was more than just the 21-point plan, because we talked about here how that 21-point plan, if you look at the news, you're going to see Trump, when he signed this document in front of the people we said the 21-point plan was presented to at the first place, UAE, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East. They're calling it Trump's Middle East win. Can we say that in the chat? They're calling it Trump's Middle East win. And why is that? Because how we told you, the 21-point plan was first approved by the leaders of the Middle East, the Saudi prince, the UAE, Turkey, the 21. I said it was inevitable that the peace deal was coming, because it wasn't up to Bibi Netanyahu, who's just a politician from New Jersey. I said the peace deal was coming because what you had saw was political theater. Trump was giving Bibi Netanyahu a wave to look good and to look like he came to the table to broker peace, when Bibi Netanyahu didn't have anything to do with the 21-point plan and the peace deal. He was forced to come to the table because Trump and the administration and the art of the deal. Can we have a real talk this morning? Can we have a real talk this morning? Double tap hit the like button. Double tap it. Can we have a back at it like a crack at it? Automatic like a Fomatic. Built for tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perfect Time Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last. We're going to get this done real fast. Number one off the top, peace in Gaza, and the hostages have been returned. Double tap hit the like button. I don't have enough likes. Double tap hit the like. I said peace in Gaza and the hostages have been returned. Almost something that was seen as unbelievable in the last administration. There's so much to celebrate. There's so much to talk about. Can we be honest about the fact that when I say 2025 won't last and we're going to get this done in a day, do you understand that this is the first year? It's only been a matter of months into the Trump MAGA presidency. When we said make America great again, I said when you make America great again, you make the globe great again. We're discussing geopolitical topics. We're discussing hostages going home to families on both sides. People, Israeli hostages, Palestinian prisoners, everybody going home, peace on the table in matter of 6 months. President Trump is the big dog. Can we get a President Trump is the big dog in the chat? President Trump is the big dog. We talking about today on Twitter, they saying Biden is the worst president compared to Jimmy Carter. I said today on Twitter, they saying Biden is the worst president compared to Jimmy Carter. Shout out to Mrs. Perfect Timing for that $5 super chat. Shout out to you, Mrs. Perfect Timing, with that $5. Let's get us a goal up there, Mrs. Perfect Timing. Shout out to you with that $5 super chat, man. Let's get a live stream goal up there. Let's get a live stream goal up there for everybody. What I need you to do, y'all, hit the super chat, hit the like, share, and subscribe. We're going to do a goal of 15 gifts for the first hour. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a goal of 15 gifts. Shout out to YouTube for listening to my podcast. YouTube got the goal on the vertical live from your boy. The Perfect Timing Podcast been doing the goal before YouTube, but thank you, YouTube, for adding that goal measure. So we got goals now. We got Mrs. Perfect Timing with the first super chat. Thank you to that super chat. And we got a round rumpus fire discussion this morning about Donald Trump, Middle East win, and American protest wave. And I'm just very excited this morning because, I mean, 12 months into the president, we ain't even 1 year. We got a 4-year term. Do you understand? 2025 won't last. We won't get this done with a day. We got a 4-year term, ladies and gentlemen. We got a 4-year term, right? We got a 4-year term, and we already have a ceasefire. Why are the Democrats and people upset about the fact saying, oh, the ceasefire is not going to last? Oh, the ceasefire and this and see. All I know is 6 months ago, we were all afraid of World War III. Can we have a real talk this morning? I'm being honest. I want my chat and my audience to be honest. 6 months ago, the Democrats had you terrified. We had geopolitical conflicts popping up all over the globe. We had a conflict with Russia and the Ukraine. We had a conflict with Gaza. Some of the most horrendous things happened in the Gaza conflict that we've seen since World War II. People were terrified. People were scared. People were protesting on college campuses behind what was happening in these geopolitical arenas. We had conflicts in Iran. I'm telling you, when Trump took office, he had a heavy load to lift, and he had a long laundry list of things to accomplish because of the lack of productivity of the last administration. Can we be honest? Can we just be honest about that fact that we had the Ukraine, that we had Russia, that we had Gaza, that we had Israel, that we had Iran, that we had inflation, we had high unemployment, we had fear. We have fear around the globe about what might transpire with these conflicts if these conflicts were to converge and bubble over, right? And what happened was people voted for the Donald Trump because they didn't trust in the Democrats. They didn't believe in Kamala Harris being able to rectify and solve these problems because we saw the Democrats and what they did in the Ukraine in 2014. We saw this. Shout out to Candace Owens for listening to my podcast. A lot of my audience members will remember when I taught you about the Azov Battalion and how the American administration of Joe Biden and Obama armed the new Nazis. The Azov Battalion was a neo-Nazi street gang that got enveloped into Ukrainian army in 2014. Thank you, Obama. Thank you, Joe Biden. And then later, during 2022 Ukrainian conflict, Joe Biden saw fit to give them arms and send American soldiers to train the new Nazis. Yes, we empowered the new Nazis. Thank you, Joe Biden. Don't vote for me if you're not black, Joe Biden. Double tap, hit the like button. We don't have enough likes. Double tap, hit the like button. This is just the truth of the matter is when Trump took office, the world was full of problems. We had problems on scale that we had never seen in the past 20 to 30 years. People were terrified, not only because eggs were $12. Who remembers when eggs were $12? How much did you pay for eggs? Do you remember? It was just January. Can we have an honest talk this morning and it's only October? It's October. Trump took office in January. When you need to be able to couch a conversation. When people are yelling and protesting in Portland and blaming problems of Portland on someone who's been in office for only months. Do you see the outrageousness? So everyone is angry in Portland and Chicago, but it's absolutely perverted. It's absolutely perverse. And it's the baby whining, crying nature of the American left. How can you whine and cry and blame a man who's been in office for months? He took office in January. The problems that plague Portland. Can we have an honest talk this morning? Yes, I'm MAGA. Yes, I'm Republican. Yes, I support Donald Trump. But I'm bringing out some truths here that mathematics cannot be beat. Do you understand? 1 and 1 makes 2. That didn't happen under the Democrats. What I'm explaining to you is that only from January to October, we have a ceasefire. We have hostages returned. Do you understand? Trump said he wants to go to heaven. The hostages have been returned in a matter of months. We could argue a matter of days. This is This is astronomical. This is making Trump. That's why people are arguing for the Nobel Peace Prize. I argue it's not just the fact that the hostages are being returned, that we have a ceasefire, but it's how long it took. It's Trump understanding the facts on the ground. Trump could have waited. Trump got 4 years. Trump knew he could broker a deal with Bibi Netanyahu. He didn't wait. Trump wanted to stop the dying now. Trump wanted to stop the dying now. Everybody wants to say, oh, they want to rebuild. They could have allowed the conflict to continue. Trump got this done within a matter of months. He took office in January. It's October and the hostages are home. What are the odds that Trump would have got the hostages home by October in the first year of his presidency? This is what the conversation should be, and this is what the conversation is not. Trump got the hostages home in a matter of months. Joe Biden left Afghanistan, left billions of dollars, and left Americans dead. This is the legacy. There are two legacies here that you can't ignore. Math want to let you ignore these two legacies. The legacy of the last administration and the border crisis and leaving Afghanistan. These are two mathematical consistencies that you cannot get away from. The border crisis that we're dealing with now in Portland and Chicago. That's why I say to you, it is so unfair for the people of Portland to act like babies and to act like the issues that you're having in Portland or Aurora, Colorado with the Venezuelan gang that was released in Venezuela. Do you remember 40,000 gang members went to Aurora, Colorado? The same Venezuelan gang went to Chicago and took over apartment complexes, but that didn't happen in the last 6 months. Can we have a real honest talk this morning? The problems that we're dealing with in Aurora, Colorado, in Illinois, in Portland, in Memphis did not arise in 6 months. For you to try to blame Trump for the problems, the crime, all of the murder that we saw in Chicago, the King Vaughns, the Little Dirks, the drill scene of Little Chicago, Southside Chicago, murder after murder, 70 shootings over Labor Day weekend, 9 deaths. I did the research. I said every Labor Day weekend for the past 5 years. I went back 10 years, but I gave you data for the Labor Day weekends and Memorial Day weekend for the past 5 years. I said every holiday weekend in Chicago, they have a shooting spree and a murder. What I am saying to you is the problems in Chicago did not arise in 6 months. So for people in Chicago and Portland to be outraged with Donald Trump for issues that have plagued you for years, right, and got exacerbated under the last administration with the border crisis is perverse. It's absolutely perverse. We should be celebrating Donald Trump as one of the best presidents we've seen in the past 15 years because the unproductive Democrats didn't raise your minimum wage and caused these geopolitical crises and asked for Trump to clean them up. And today, the hostages are home. The hostages are home. Donald Trump, President Trump, got the hostages home in a matter of months. He became president in January. October, we have hostages released home. You can't argue math. You cannot argue math. These are facts on the ground. You cannot argue 10 million by the Democrat numbers in border crisis. You cannot argue borders are saying do not come. Kamala Harris has a book out right now admitting how they forced her to be the border czar, threw her under the bus and did not support her and left her out to hang and dry as Biden opened up the border unprepared. And that's how children got lost. That's how families got separated. I said in my podcast last week, I said when we want immigration in America, the greatest country in the world. And yes, we believe in immigrants. We love immigrants. I'm an immigrant. We love immigrants in America, but you have a process. When we opened up America the last time, we built something called Ellis Island to process a mass amount of immigrant labor that America required and needed. But it was America first. How do you process these immigrants without hurting the country? Because some of them may have had smallpox. Right now we're dealing with COVID, but they had Ellis Island. Do you remember Vito Corleone? When he came into Ellis Island, he was put on quarantine because there was a smallpox outbreak. He was given papers. There was a proper way to do it. He saw a doctor. He was given an ID. This was the proper way to make sure that people were not separated from families. facilities, that people were not hurt, that people were not prostituted and taken advantage of, because we had a process. We said we're going to open up our borders, but we're going to put America first, and we're going to put the immigrants first by giving them a proper process, not just letting them come over the border and not having anything prepared. Nothing prepared, Biden. Biden opened up the border with nothing prepared, right? No processing facilities, no doctors. Women were pregnant. Babies were sick. Nowhere for the babies to go to the doctor. Nowhere for the women to go to the bathroom. Just open the border and give out bottles of water. What a great idea, President Biden. What a great idea. How did that work out, Kamala? Please tell me, Kamala, how did that work out? $10,000 in food stamps, paying for hotels. But you never asked why. Why did they have to give out food stamps and hotels? Because they weren't prepared. I work in logistics as a project manager by trade. It was a nightmare logistically. As a project manager, I looked at what happened on the border and I was pissed off, because the reason why children were separated and families got hurt because logistically they did not plan. How many people understand that? It wasn't racism, it was poor planning. It manifested itself in racism, but the Democrats knew how to do it right, because we did it right with Ellis Island. We knew the ills that could plague us if we open up the border without a processing facility. Do you guys even know what Ellis Island is? Am I just saying words right now? Do you know what the Statue of Liberty is? Do you know what the Bill of Rights is? Do you know what the Constitution is? Do you know you live in the greatest country in the world? We know how to do immigration. I haven't heard it on one political pundit that the Democrats flubbed it and killed people because they did it not the right way. Logistically, project managers, they did not do proper planning. And we can have this conversation because we did have an Ellis Island. It's not just conjecture, right? That's why I'm bringing up The Godfather. That's why I'm bringing up Vito Corleone, to remind you that, damn, I want people in the chat to say, damn, he right. Damn, he right. Biden, why did you open up the border without a proper processing facility, knowing that children would be hurt, separated from their mothers? Biden, why did you do it? Kamala, why didn't you stop it? Somebody stop him. Trump stopped him. And when Trump stopped that immigration without proper process, he saved lives. He saved children. He saved babies who were being separated from their mothers at the border because there was no processing facility. There was no doctors. There was no nothing for them. They just came into our country sick, downtrodden, broken. And how did they even get to New York? Did anybody know? How did they even get to Aurora, Colorado? Does anybody know? How did they even get to Chicago? Does anybody know? Who was giving them the EBT cards? Who was giving them the EBT cards? Does anybody know what happened in that last administration? I don't think we know what happened in that last administration. Let's talk about what's going on in Portland right now. Portland ICE protesters rent storage unit for supplies amidst ongoing demonstration. Protesters opposing U.S. immigration and customs enforcement deportations in Portland South Waterfront District have rented a nearby storage unit to store food, water, medical supplies, tents, and protective gear, supporting their 5-month-long demonstration that began intensifying in June 2020. This sounds like the Civil War is already here. I know people are saying that there could be, but this is a front. This is a front line. Remember Chaz? Who remembers Chaz? We got to have a real talk about what's happening in America right now. Do you remember Chaz? People died in Chaz. They didn't take care of the people. So it's not fair for them to say that they understand and they know how to do this when they fail. They failed with Chaz. Do you remember? Do you remember people died? This is not the first time we've had this unruly unrest, this uncitizen, un-American-like behavior. Remember what they told us? They said they trained Marxists. They said they trained Marxists. I don't got nothing to wipe the sweat off. We just gonna have to sweat today. Let's keep reading. A month-long citizen journalist documented the activity on October 12th and 13th, with Portland police monitoring but making no arrests. While federal officials probed the situation amid a temporarily halted National Guard deployment ordered by a judge, critics accused the setup of hiding riot materials. Listen, they got riot materials. You can't do this in America. This is already, because I know people are hearing people say civil war and all this. They have a front line and they did it already with Chaz. It's not the first time. So right now they have people who are anti the federal government, who are against the National Guard, who I told you the National Guard are your sons and daughters. The National Guard are Americans who have jobs, who volunteer on the weekend. Why would we be against the National Guard? I don't know. We're supposed to support the National Guard. Do you volunteer? Do you volunteer at the food bank? Do you volunteer at your church? How can you say this about the National Guard if you don't volunteer? Do you know what it takes to volunteer? A lot of us are working extra hours, 2 jobs, and you got someone who finds time to volunteer for their country. That's the National Guard. It's sad and sick that the Democrats are telling Americans to push back against the National Guard, people who volunteer. What I want to say to anybody who thinks they have the right to push back against the National Guard, do you volunteer at the food bank, at church? What do you give back? Double tap at the like. Over 100 people watching. We need over 100 likes 5 minutes ago. This is Portland captured the moment. A huge shipment of far left Antifa, and encampment occupation supplies were unloaded near the ICE facility. They have so much riot gear and supplies, they're moving it into nearby. They have so much riot gear and supplies, they're moving it into near. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? That's how much riot gear they have. This, when some people might have thought that was conjecture when I saw people say a civil war is brewing, but I didn't know that there was a front line. Did you know there was a front line? And so who's funding it? Remember, we talked about who's funding it. Who's funding all this? Who's paying for it? Can we take a look right now? Can we take a look? Let me see if we could take a look.
I've had a shipment dropped off in a U-Haul right here. They're saying it's all the stuff that's been taken away from rapid response and from people since they've been out here. So there's a whole U-Haul full of stuff that's been getting dropped off right now of all of the equipment the past few months of their protests. You have all this stuff that's getting dropped off right here. You have all the inflatables as well that the people have been protesting in. A little strange, they have a U-Haul shipment full of all the stuff that's apparently been taken away. So stuff's been coming in. There's still protesters out right now. It's like 4 p.m. right now, I believe. And the protesters are starting to show up here to the ICE facility in Portland. I'm here in Portland right now, and it looks like
Can you believe that? That is a front line. They are sending supplies to the front line. Who is the they? What is going on in America? What we have a front line, and someone is sending supplies to the front line who is anti-federal government. What is going on in America? I don't even think people understand what is truly going on. That is a front line. Somebody sending supplies to the front line. Trump's National Guard. So on this channel, we were wondering who was going to be next. I know a lot of you already know Memphis was next. Remember, I told you that you had citizens in D.C. who are happy about the fact that ICE and National Guard was in D.C. They're happy with the safety. I have video again. Black citizens in Memphis, the crime has already gone down. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Trump's National Guard deployment slashes Memphis crime 25%. In mid-September 2025, Donald Trump deployed National Guard to Memphis, Tennessee, with Governor Bill Lee mobilizing state units and federal agents targeting high crime areas amid violent crime surge that includes 346 homicides in 2023. I'll say that again, 346 homicides in 2023. Residents report a 25% crime reduction shortly after with no gunshots heard for weeks and children playing safely outdoors. Did you hear that? Did you read that? The same thing happened in Washington, D.C. My prayers is this will happen in Chicago. I believe the children of Southside Chicago deserve not to hear gunshots, deserve to play outside. What do you think? Because the Democrats don't want the children of Southside Chicago to be able to play outside and grow up without gunshots. What do you believe? I want to show you a video. Let's not just read it. Let's go to the video of let's see what black citizens in Memphis. Remember, I showed you video in Washington, D.C. Black professional after black professional after black professional in Chocolate City. Do you know what Chocolate City is? They didn't even tell you it was called Chocolate City. Who was the people dying in Chocolate City? Who were the people suffering from the crime? And it was black people. It wasn't white people. Now listen and look at this report from Memphis.
It's beautiful.
Look at this report from Memphis. Huh? Double tap, hit the like button. We don't have enough likes, so the show won't get out to enough people. Double tap, hit the like button. Trump got Memphis so quiet right now, I had to walk to the store. Can we have a double tap, hit the like button right now? MAGA, MAGA, MAGA Tuesday.
All I want to say is, Trump, you're doing your big thing, man. We got the kids back outside on their bikes. The lawnmowers back going, the dogs back barking. Memphis is looking real good out here, man. Hey, man, you did your big one, man. Appreciate you for helping cleaning up Memphis. Hey, MPD, well, I don't even know what to say about y'all. I done walked to the store. Y'all got me a bag of ice. I ain't walked to the store in about 20 years. You ain't got to worry about no pow, pow, pow. You ain't got to worry about no ducking. You ain't got to worry about them fins doing all that old shit. Man, it's beautiful. I'm talking about the traffic back going. I'm talking about the kids back outside. Hey, make Memphis great again, goddammit. Hey, it's a good thing, man. I love when they come together. Hey, Tag Force, keep doing what you're doing. Hey, Trump, y'all keep doing what you're doing. National Guard, y'all keep doing what you're doing. Hey.
I love it when a plan. Make Memphis great again. Can we get Make Memphis great again in the chat? Make Memphis great again. He said the kids can ride their bikes. Just simple pleasures, man. But this is not what's on the news. What's on the news is Antifa getting supplied. Can you understand? A lot of people disagree with Trump calling Antifa a terrorist, but now you understand. They told you they train Marxists. Now they have a front line in front of ICE facilities, almost blocking where ICE can't even come out and do their job. That's illegal. You can't stop a federal agent from doing their job. That is a front line. I don't care what you got to say. That is a front line. A line has been drawn in the sand, and this is getting out of hand. We got a peace deal in Gaza. We have a peace deal. The actual hostages came home. I do not understand the Democrats, but you know what's going on, right? Before I go to my next topic, I got more video. Before we go to the next topic, you know what's going on, right? The Democrats admitted it this weekend. They don't have any power. The only power they had is to shut down the government and cause the political unrest. They admitted it this weekend. MAGA knew the climate. When we saw what happened with Charlie Kirk, when we saw Trump fight. Can I get fight in the chat? We knew the climate already. When I saw the ICE shooting in Dallas, we knew the climate already. We knew they were coming. We knew they were coming. We were prepared. And we understood the challenge. My goal is to educate the American people by showing you on the ground. If you watch the news media, you might believe. If you watch CNN, if you watch Sunday news reporters who are millionaires, listen to this. If you watch the Democrat elite who are multimillionaires who don't live in East St. Louis, can we have a real talk this morning? I said, if you watch the Democrat elite from Chicago who don't live in Southside, they live in Oak Park, they live in multi-million-dollar. Chicago is beautiful. I've never said anything negative about Chicago or Chicagoans. I have family in Chicago. Chicago is gorgeous. I talked about the Art Institute, the Empire State Building, the rich historical Americana that exists, but not in Southside Chicago. And I think it's a sad day for Democrats where we got to call them out for allowing there to be two Americas. Trump said, make America great. That means Southside Chicago gets to be great too. Do you understand that, Democrats? Southside Chicago gets to be great too. And that is why I'm showing video of Black professionals in Memphis who are saying, let me read it again. Let's read it again. Let's just get the facts out there. In mid-September, let's read it. Y'all take this to your barbershop. Trump's National Guard deployment in Memphis slashes crime 25%. Did you guys know that there were 346 murders in Memphis in 2023? That's the Biden administration. Let me read these details to you. Let me read these details. In mid-September 2025, President Trump deployed National Guard to Memphis, Tennessee, with Governor Bill Lee mobilizing state units and federal agents targeting high crime areas amid a violent crime surge that included 346 homicides in 2023 under Sleepy Joe. Residents report a 25% crime reduction shortly after, with no gunshots heard for weeks, just like DC, and children playing safely outdoors, crediting the effort for restoring peace, just like in Gaza, while locals express gratitude. Civil rights activists and city officials, including Mayor Paul Young, raised concerns about federal overreach, historical tensions, and majority Black city. I saw the Black leadership of Memphis, and I am upset. I am disgusted because, you know, I never saw that type of Black leadership in Memphis when we had the murders, when we had that chief of police. Everybody know that Black female chief of police in Memphis that should have been fired. Where were the Black mayors in leadership of Memphis when she was allowing all the people to get released? The problem that you see all over is these criminals get arrested and then released, arrested, then released, arrested, then released. And the chief of police in Memphis was not doing her job, letting all the criminals out on the street. She came from Atlanta. The truth don't never get told about these leaders that you have in your community. Let's go to some more on the ground. Let's go to some more on the ground after the real life. Because it's one thing to watch the news, right? It's one thing to watch the millionaire Democrats who live in communities. They don't live in low-income communities. Your favorite Democrat is a millionaire, and they don't live in East St. Louis. They don't live in South Sac. They don't live in Southside Chicago. They just don't. I'm sorry to tell you that. Your favorite Democrat is a millionaire, and they have a mansion, and they don't have mansions in South Chicago. I'm sorry, they just don't. Right? So that's why the liberals are the most dangerous. The liberal Democrats are the most. Let's listen to actual people in Memphis, not liberal Democrats. Okay? Let's listen to actual people in Memphis on the ground, not liberal millionaire Democrats.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I think it's true time. I was against pretty much everything that was coming towards Memphis. I was against this National Guard, all these different police units, all this military, all this shit. I was against all this shit coming to the end, right? Especially when I was the one learning shit about Memphis and how the crime been down 25% than it has in like hella years and shit. Like Memphis been doing good. We just had the most peaceful summer in a long little time. Just for these folks to still come with this shit. I was against this shit, bro. And then I seen the numbers after the first week of rounding up niggas. These folks then got 16 convicted murderers off the streets in 1 week. Black people. I know there's a lot of Memphis folks talking about all the niggas gone now and they over here, the police pulling over all the good hard working people. Hey, if that was the case, I'm sorry. But I I can't wholeheartedly say they doing a bad thing now. Now that I just seen them numbers, bro. I'm gonna just be honest. And I'm a real Memphis nigga. I love my city. I love my. Once again, nigga, this where I'm at. As I wait on the motherfucking bus, I'm in the heart of this shit. I love this shit. But I would be lying if I ain't just read them numbers and say, damn, that's a good thing for Memphis. So I'm out of this, y'all. I ain't got no more commentary on this National Guard shit being here, the police, the over police. I ain't got shit to say to that, bro, because it's kind of hard for me to say they doing us wrong when they really getting convicted fucking murderers. And fellas with guns off the street, bro. Hey, bro. Y'all just be easy, bro. Be easy.
Did you hear his frustration? Did you hear how frustrated he was? This is what it's like being a black Republican. It's called Blexit. Shout out to Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Thank you, Candace Owens, for all your work you've done on Blexit, because I understand this young brother's pain. This is how I was 10 years ago when Candace Owens first created Blexit. He is frustrated. It's difficult for him to admit these truths that everybody trolled me about. They call me all kind of names in the chat. I get called all kind of names. It's not easy doing this. But when I see young men, I've been showing videos like this. This is what keep me going. When I see young black men waking up, going through what I went through, learning the truths of America. Did you hear what he said? He said, I was against Trump, but I live in Memphis. I catch the bus. And what they are doing, they arrested 16 murderers. Before I showed the video, I hadn't watched the video. I told you about the black female police chief in Memphis who had failed the black community because she keeps releasing felons and criminals back into the neighborhood. What is the first thing he said? They got 16 murderers, convicted murderers off the street. They are arresting felons with guns. It's safer for him. It's safer for children. He said, it's hard for me to say this. Why, brother? Why is it so hard for you to admit the truth? He said, it's so hard. Listen, this is what it's like being black leaving the Democratic Party. He said, it's so hard for me that he's not going to comment no more. He said, I ain't got nothing else to say about this Trump thing. He is going through a process. This is what Candace Owens has said. So let's support that brother. He's going to be a Republican. Next time he votes, he's going to be asking more questions of the Democrats. He's going to want more truth. He's not going to just accept what's on the news anymore. Do you see what's happening, Democrats? You see the truth? See, the news could put on political theater, but people are waking up. This is an everyday American citizen who happens to be black in Memphis, sitting at the bus on his way to school or work, giving you honest commentary. Hey, it's safer out here. I'm not a Trump voter. Did you hear what he said? It's hard for me to admit because I'm not a Trump voter, but it's safer in Memphis. That's what he said. Did you hear what he said? He said they're taking murderers off the street. Now, a couple things. People think black men all support crime, all support murderers. So you know what else I like about this video? And this is a young brother who doesn't want guns. This is a young brother who don't want criminals, who don't want gang members in his neighborhood. A lot of people don't know that most black men don't commit crime, don't have babies out of wedlock and go to work and go to school like this young brother. And it's still difficult for him. He's still having a hard time coming to grip. That's why it's called Blexit. That's why it's called Blexit. He's having a hard time admitting that he's been trapped on a Democratic plantation and he's been believing everything the Democrats say. But then when he had realities put him in the face, he didn't even want to talk no more. He didn't even want to comment no more.
Hey, over here, the police pulling over all the good, hard-working people. Hey, if that was the case, I'm sorry. But I can't wholeheartedly say they doing a bad thing now. Now that I just seen them numbers.
I can't wholeheartedly say they doing a bad thing. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, for just being honest. I'm telling you, I do a lot of hard work on this podcast, brother. I do a lot of hard work educating. Candace Owens does a lot of hard work. And thank you for being honest. I just love you for your honesty. I love you for your honesty, brother. And I love him for being earnest. You know, there's a difference between being honest and being earnest. He had difficulty saying it because he believed it. But Kamala Harris believed it. Kamala Harris was hypnotized. What did Kamala Harris say in 107 days? She said, I was hypnotized and the Democratic Party was hypnotized. That's why I didn't push back on Joe Biden and his policies. Thank you, Kamala Harris, for admitting the fact that Democrats are hypnotized. This young brother just admitted it. Y'all want to see more anecdotal evidence of Trump?
Strange.
Do y'all want to see more anecdotal? Because there is a riot in Portland. There is contrast. There is not just one thing that the liberal media shows you. These independent people with their cell phones are not on CNN. They're not on. Rachel Maddow is not capturing the actual citizens of DC, the actual citizens of Memphis. I am. Will you show this at your barbershop? I need you to like, share, and subscribe. I got 17 likes. That's perverted. I know you're enjoying the content. I know you like my channel. I know you like the way I look. I know I'm looking good. I'm smelling good. My studio is fly. What's up with the likes? We got 17 likes and we need to get our gifts going. We got a 15 gift goal. I need everybody to double tap, hit the like button. Upper right-hand corner, there are 3 ellipses. Hit the ellipsis. In your lower right-hand corner, there's a chevron. You can hit that chevron and hit the heart. Hit the 100. There you go. Somebody just hit the heart. Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen. Let's go to Memphis right now and get anecdotal evidence of how Trump's midway blitz is helping make America great again for all Americans.
Some of y'all might get mad at me. And at this point, I don't give a damn. I'm not into politics. I'm not into all of that extra stuff that people be losing their life over. I ain't into all that. You human. Whatever. But I will say thank you to Trump for bringing these National Guards and doing what they doing down here in Memphis right now. You know, for the first time in 5 years. I've been in my home for 5 years. And for the first time, my kids have been able to play in the backyard and be able to do it comfortably. I haven't heard a gunshot in 2 weeks. I haven't seen strange people walk up and down the street. Just a few weeks ago, I had somebody walk on the side of my house. None of that action's going on. I haven't seen no young YNs at the stove posted. I haven't seen an Infinity fly past me in weeks. I'm sitting on my porch right now, and I'm watching kids outside playing. People outside walking with their kids, stuff I ain't never seen before living in my neighborhood. But all because we feel safe in this environment, unfortunately, because of the things that are happening here in the city. I hate it had to be this way, but I'm happy. I'm happy. Honestly, I truly feel that this is just a band-aid to the problem. I don't think this is going to completely fix everything. But to have a moment of peace, just thank you, Jesus.
I agree. So now what? I agree. This is not a solution to the problem, right? I agree. So now what? If you understand that this is not a solution to the problem, what has happened? Trump has given you a tool. Trump has showed you what the streets of Washington, D.C. can look like. Yes, it's not a permanent fix. Because what was wrong with D.C.? This is what I've been talking about. This is what Black MAGA has been talking about. Trump did not cause these problems in 6 months. He only took office in January. It's only October. So what are the real issues in D.C.? What is plaguing Southside Chicago? What are the real issues in Memphis? Because the National Guard won't fix that chief of police, right? Corrupt police, corrupt politicians. The same thing in D.C. The mayor of D.C. has been mayor for 3 terms in over 10 years. Hey, baby! Love you too, baby. Happy Taco Tuesday! We got tacos! What's the... Huh? Thank you, baby! Later! Taco Tuesday. So we got, what is the real problem in these cities that Trump is sending the National Guard to? That was a great observation that she made, that it's just a Band-Aid. So how will we fix the problem? So we got to really address the corruption in the Democratic Party and how the Democrats get elected. How the Democrats, before this time, do you guys ever remember, I live in one of these cities, when that black mayor or that black chief of police comes on, the first thing he does is say, we had 50 arrests of carjackers. We arrested this many people. That's all they do. When they first give a talk, the mayor, any black politician in a Democratic city, the first thing they talk about is how many arrests they made. Democrats love to say they're tough on crime. But I ask, this is the thing why I think Democrats are upset with Trump. What do the Democrats have who are tough on crime if they don't have crime? Think about it, because the Democrats don't have power. They don't have policy. If they don't have crime to fight, think about, I say Democrats create a boogeyman, because the Democrats need to fight crime, because that's why you vote for Democrats. But why not get rid of the crime? This is why crime has never left Memphis. This is why crime has never left the south side of Chicago, because Democrats get elected on fighting crime. If they end crime, why would you vote for a Democrat? Can anybody tell me that in the chat? If Democrats end crime, which Trump is doing in these Democratic black cities, what do the Democrat black mayor have to run on? What does that Democrat black police chief have to run on? She can't get up there and say, oh, we stopped this amount of crime. I'm a Democrat. I'm tough on. No, Trump already stopped it. Okay, chief of police, what are you actually doing now? What type of programs, PAL, football, what do you have for the kids? What type of patrols are you doing now? What are you actually doing that you learned in college? How are you applying yourself in your role? Mayor of Memphis, what are you actually doing to increase businesses that come to your city, to increase jobs and training of young people who are going into gangs? Now, policy. I agree. It's just a Band-Aid, but the people of Memphis are the ones who would make it permanent by understanding how to do politics. The blacks in Memphis, the blacks in DC, the blacks in Chicago have to be politically advantageous and stop voting Democrat and giving your vote to people who don't care about the life and death of your children. They literally don't. They are getting elected off of your death. That's why they pissed off. Why they pissed off in Chicago and Memphis? Because they don't have nothing. There is no reason to vote Democrat any longer if there's no crime. If there's no crime, how can the Democrats be pro-crime? I am making an argument here. You don't have to agree. I am lodging that the Democrats purposely foster crime in these enclaves, which is why you see criminals keep getting. Y'all see that poster of that guy who killed that girl? How many times he had been arrested and released? How many times he had a rap sheet? How many times was he arrested and released before he killed that little girl? This is the truth of these Democratic cities where Gavin Newsom creates laws that allow people to be freed after committing felonies, still up to $1,000. There's a point system. Oh, you get to go home for free. Oh, no bail. All of these police reform tactics have created the environment where people don't allow their kids to play outside. Why? Because the criminals rule the outside. The criminals rule the outside because they don't go to jail. Yes, this is a pro-Trump page. Yes, this is a pro-Trump page. I'll get you out of here. Go find somebody that you like. Do you understand? Go find somebody that you like. There's no problem for you to go find somebody that you like. If you're a so-called black person and you're not in politics, it's a shame. Thank you, Malik. And a lot of people are waking up to the politics. The young man, this young lady, that was a very observative comment she made, that this is not going to be a solution. It's just a Band-Aid. So how do you continue this solution? How do you continue the crime, and how do you continue no more murder? I'm telling you, people in Memphis, Chicago, DC, become politically advantageous. Stop falling for the Democratic plantation, because the Democrats are elected off of your murder. And that's why the jails are full of blacks in your city. And that's why the cemeteries are full of blacks in your city, because the Democrats benefit from your death and destruction. I'm sorry. The truth is here now. It's not even a discussion anymore. It's not even the discussion anymore. Black people living in Memphis changed their mind on Trump after the city is made safe in 2 weeks. After the city is
the numbers.
That's just a fact.
I'm in the heart of this.
Black people changed their mind on Trump after the city is made safe in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, 93 arrests, 23 illegal guns, make America safe again. 93 arrests, 23 illegal guns, 16 convicted murderers. Why are convicted murderers walking around? But we know they are, because that little girl just got murdered. For anybody who might disagree with me in the chat, we know these convicted murderers are walking around. We know convicted felons are walking around, because the girl who just got murdered, there is a picture of over 30 arrests. That man was arrested 30 times on felonies. Over and over, mugshot after mugshot, is still allowed to be on the streets. So when you hear these black citizens say that you could not walk outside, it was because these democratic police reform policies that let criminals roam the neighborhoods instead of being incarcerated for crimes. And I'm talking about violent felony crimes. Let me get some of these poop butts up out of here, so everybody can enjoy the channel. You are being so snowed, LeBron. How am I being snowed? I'm not being snowed. I'm showing real people in Memphis. I'm showing real people in Memphis. And you know what's so great about what I showed today? That young man is like a lot of people in the chat. I know it's a lot of young people in the chat that just know Donald Trump is racist. They just know Charlie Kirk is racist. And sometimes I think it hurts them when the truth hits them. I don't think they know how to process the truth. And they're so hypnotized that I think they get upset. And that's why they're acting out and protesting and hurting people, because when they get hit with a truth that they cannot no longer hide from, they're getting, what you see in the country is people not mentally accepting these truths. That's what you're seeing. They are not having the mental. Let's show. Oh my God. Let's show some more evidence. So, because there's people in the chat that don't believe it. Don't take it from me. Let's take it from, look at this brother. Look at me. OG. Look at me, conservative haircut. Now look at this brother. Somebody you would not think would have this opinion. How dare you tell anyone you cannot have a political opinion because you're black? Thank you, Nikki. I don't know why. You know what, Nikki? It's anti-American too. And I think we need to start calling people out on on this un-American behavior. And I think that got to be part of making America great again. How much money is Trump putting in your pockets? I wish he was putting money in my pockets, but Trump is doing a lot to bring back the economy, jobs in the blue sector. People are talking about whether or not a check will come because of the money that was made off the tariffs. Will Trump cut the American people a check? And that means you would get a check too, Michael. Did you know that? Let's take a look and listen to this, Michael. No, he's not. This man already said he don't like blacks. All right, Michael. You go find a channel that agrees with your low-level thought process. There are a lot of channels out there that don't think and don't have logic and refuse to just listen to the real people. So you can go find a channel that's going to lie to you and keep you hypnotized. My goal is not to keep you hypnotized. My goal is to wake people up. My goal is to present Blexit. My goal is political advantageousness, man. And I know it hurts sometimes. People thought Charlie Kirk was racist. I played video last week. A black man said, I went and did my research. Charlie Kirk is not racist. Charlie Kirk had a message of the good book. Charlie Kirk was bringing white men back to church, back to college. The last thing Charlie Kirk was about was bringing white men back to politics. And people don't want to be honest. Is Charlie Kirk a bad word this week? Is Charlie Kirk on the list? Because I noticed my Charlie Kirk content changed. I don't care. We're going to keep going.
Just got back from Memphis. When I tell you, Memphis is a totally different place right now. For real. I did not know that President Trump was sending them guys down there. But when I say it's police everywhere, for real though, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I ain't never seen Memphis like this before. Cause I go down there and drop off a load at the hospital. You know, you see your normal scragglies, whatever. You know what I mean? Hospital, I don't know why hospital's always a place where they won't hang out at, but it is what it is. But traffic was different. Police is on every corner. I'm like, yo, I'm thinking that they was gonna send them guys to Chicago. I know, see, I don't go to Chicago, so I wouldn't know that anyway. But boy, Memphis, boy, I know they people's like, yes, crime has slowed down. I mean, it look like a totally different city right now. The vibes are different. I don't know, I guess it's just me, man, but Memphis changing for the good, y'all. As they should. The people need that, though. The people need to stop all this riffraff and all this craziness these young kids got going on, man. Scared to leave your house, scared to go to the grocery store, scared to go to the gas station. One time, I wouldn't even go to certain gas stations if I see too many of them out there. For real, I keep it pushing. I wouldn't give a damn if I'm about to run out of gas. I'm going to keep it pushing. So, right now, it's a totally different breed down there right now, boy. I mean, I'm talking about the whole boatload is down there. Police everywhere, boy. You know what I'm saying? So I know the people like, yo, we needed this. And I agree with them. I agree with them people. They do need that. They need peace and love. And I love you guys, and I'm out.
There's more anecdotal evidence. More anecdotal evidence for all the trolls in the chat. Who is paying the trolls? Since we want to know who is paying the trolls, who is paying you to be dumb? Because it got to be a lot of money to pay somebody to be dumb. To be, you know what I'm saying? To close your ears and to close your eyes to the truth. It got to be a lot of money. The Democrat ought to be paying you trolls a lot of money because you're losing your community. You're broke. You don't have a job. Minimum wage is $7. They closed the government. Can we have a real talk this morning for all the trolls out there who want to troll my chat? Do you realize that the Democrats admitted this weekend that they closed the government because they don't have any power? What have I been saying about Jasmine Crockett in these 5 seats? They have Proposition 50 in California for these 5 seats. But what did I say? The 5 seats are insequential because they won't give the Democrats power. The Democrats will still be powerless. Listen to what I'm saying. If Texas got 5 seats and then California gets the 5 seats, what happens? We're back where we're started. Do you understand? This is why I say about math and liberal Democrats not understanding math. If Texas takes 5 seats, California takes 5 seats, we're back where we started. And where is that? Where is that? With Donald Trump and the Republicans running the House, the Senate, and the White House, and the Democrats still not having any power. So why are they shutting down the government? Why are they shutting down the government when you, low-income people, black people, disproportionately work for the government? That means Chuck Schumer this weekend, when he admitted that the only reason he shut down the government because this is the only political power that the Democrats hold. The only political power that they hold because they don't have the Senate, they don't have the House, they don't have the White House. So all they had was to shut down the government, even though they understood shutting down the government hurts disproportionately blacks, because I read the statistics, because black and low income people work for the feds, mailmen, all those jobs, right? Over 18% of blacks, they're only 13% of the population, work for the federal government. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats already know this because we had these shutdowns under Obama. And that's when we first started to understand how this disproportionately negatively affects blacks, because I don't think how many people knew until the Obama administration how many blacks work for the federal government. So the Democrats, again, they do this in Chicago, they do this in Memphis, they use your blood, they use your bodies for political fodder. They're doing it again. Chuck Schumer is doing it again. Just like they do in Chicago, Chuck Schumer is using you, your job, your work furlough to get power. Chuck Schumer just wants power. He doesn't care about health care. He's a millionaire. They're arguing over whether or not we want to pay for immigrants getting coverage in the healthcare system. We don't want to pay for immigrants getting healthcare. We want the immigrants to go back home. That's why we voted for Trump. That's what MAGA is all about. So the government is going to stay closed because Republicans are not going to vote for more money. This is what Doge was about. Everybody in the chat agrees. No more $10,000 EBT cards. No more hotels. No more of this Biden era unplanned immigration debacle, right? It should have had Ellis Island. It should have been logistically planned out with project managers. It wasn't. So we're no longer throwing and wasting money at the problem that Biden created. Biden administration is trying to sandbag the Trump administration with immigration. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. More evidence.
Fool, I ain't even gonna care when I say this, bro. But since they brought the National Guard,
more evidence in Memphis. More evidence in Memphis. More evidence in Memphis. Y'all go ahead. When y'all go to the barbershop, man, y'all gotta be honest. When you go to the barbershop and you hear some crowd talk about Trump is racist, Trump that, and you know this crowd has gotten a job, and this crowd has never voted, and this crowd is nothing, and this crowd is living. You know what I'm saying? Just tell them to shut up. I don't want to hear that Trump shit unless you volunteer. Have you volunteered at church? Have you volunteered at the food bank? I don't want to hear nothing about Trump being racist unless you can tell me about how you mentor young black boys in the community. If you're not doing that, you just in the barbershop starting shit, talking shit because you think what you believe on television is real. Here go real evidence right here.
Fool, I ain't even gonna care when I say this, bro. But since they brought the National Guard down to Memphis, I ain't heard no screeching tires out late at night. I ain't heard no gunshots. These folks really putting belt to ass right now. That don't mean that crime ain't going on, but these folks really got these folks scared to go outside now. Like, this shit crazy.
That's just the fact of the matter, man.
Fool, I ain't even gonna care when I.
That's just the fact of the matter, man. That's just what it is. Facts of the matter. Things are better. Things are better in Chicago, Memphis, and DC, and we have a problem in Portland. And I believe Portland is a front line, and I believe we got to take care of the Portland problem. Portland Antifa tactics reveal in order to hide riot supplies and potential weapons from Portland police during sweeps of illegal encampments outside ICE. Antifa have rented a nearby storage space to stash their supplies. Can y'all believe that? That's what's happening on the ground in Portland. That's what's happening on the ground in Portland. We got a front line. Now let's talk about the Gaza peace. Let's talk about the Gaza peace. On October 13, U.S. Donald Trump brokered and signed a landmark ceasefire agreement in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, effectively ending the 2-year Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. The deal, mediated by Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, marked the release of all 20 remaining living Israeli hostages held by Hamas since October 7, 2023. What did I tell you about the 21-point plan? What I tell you about the 21-point plan? I told you peace was coming, and where was the plan signed? In Egypt. This is major. This is major. Like when you say the chessboard, it's so much that needs to be understood. When we talk about this stuff in America, there's so much low level of intellect that we're not getting to where we need to get to, so people can understand what's really happening on a geopolitical scale. That this 21-point plan was first approved by the UAE, first approved by Saudi Arabia. And then when it's signed, when the peace deal is signed, I don't even see Benjamin Netanyahu at the signing of the ceasefire. Did anybody understand the optics of this? Who do you understand? You're not being shared with great political achievement and the optics of it that could be great for a discussion and great to learn about, right? Instead, the liberal media is purposely showing you Portland, not showing you the citizens of Memphis upset, and not explaining to you the geopolitical ramifications and how Trump is the best president over the past 20 years. Do you understand how he got peace in 6 months? Do you understand he didn't sign the peace deal in America? He didn't sign it in Israel. He signed it in Egypt. We got to talk about this. I know the low-level trolls don't have the intellect to understand this, but some of my audience members who watch me in the replay will say, damn, Perfect is on it again. Yeah, Trump got peace. Trump got the peace deal done without Putin, without Israel, and he didn't sign it in Israel, and Putin wasn't there. Do you understand? This is how you get lasting peace. This is the art of the deal, is that Trump went to all the surrounding countries, the mega billionaires, the 1,000-year-old families that surround and encompass Israel, and came to Bibi with this deal on the floor like, look, we done with this bullshit. I got everybody agreeing with me. You are stopping this war on Gaza, and not because you want to. You're going to stop this war on Gaza because I have spoke to all the surrounding countries, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, the U.S., everybody around you who you have to live with want you to stop. If you don't stop, it's going to be a problem. And Bibi is not a king. He's a politician. The Israeli people already wanted this over. So this is a real deal on the table. The liberal left wants to say and throw it away. Oh, Trump is not a real deal. No, this is a real deal. It's because of the details that I gave you last week that the 21-point plan was not approved, written by the Israelis. It was approved, designed, and written and pushed forward by the UAE and the Saudi royals. The UAE and the Saudi royals. Can we have a real, let's read this again, because I know a lot of people who are hearing about the ceasefire don't understand these points and attributes that I'm bringing out right now. President Donald Trump brokered and signed a landmark ceasefire agreement in Sharm. Listen, he signed the agreement in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. He didn't sign it in Israel. He didn't sign it in the White House. I know a lot of people seeing that thumbnail of Trump signing the ceasefire thought it was at the White House, thought it was in Israel or Gaza. He signed the peace deal in Egypt. You got to pay attention to what is happening. He signed the peace deal in Egypt, effectively ending a 2-year Israel-Hamas war. Yes, ending it. They're not going to give him his props. They're not going to say he ended the war. They want to call it, Bibi won't go by the ceasefire. Israel going to break the ceasefire. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's the way Trump did it. Yeah, every other ceasefire failed. Why? Because we made the ceasefire with Bibi. We made the ceasefire with Israel. That's not what happened this time. Do you guys understand what took place with this peace? And it's because Israel went too far. What took place with this peace is that it was the peace of the globe. This is bigger than just Israel. Because the conflict got so bad, so many people and children were killed, this peace talk became out of Bibi's hands. This is not something that Bibi and Israel can go against. Do you understand? Because we didn't make the ceasefire with them. We made it with the Saudi elite in the UAE. We signed it in Egypt. These are the people surrounding Israel. that he needs to trade with. Do you understand trade partners? When you're a small country like Israel, you have to have trade, you need partners, you need friends. So Donald Trump did some political greatness. Our children will learn about this 21-point plan. Our children will learn about the peace deal that Donald Trump brokered in Israel and how he did it and how and why he signed the deal in Egypt, how he got the support from the surrounding countries to pressure Israel to stop their campaign. This deal was not made with Israel. You guys understand what's going on. That's what makes it so great. That's what makes it so significant. That's why the hostages, that's why Hamas actually believes in this deal. Why would Hamas release the hostages? Because the deal wasn't made with the Israelis. Hamas saw Trump in Egypt. Hello? Do you guys understand the optics politically, geopolitically, that the ceasefire deal was signed in Egypt and there was no Israelis behind him? The Saudis, UAE, 1,000-year-old families, mega millionaires, mega billionaires, trillionaires off of oil, the richest families in the world in Egypt. So Hamas understood what was going on. Now, if they would have signed the deal in Israel and Bibi Netanyahu was cheering and celebrating that he did something great, Hamas might not believe that. Hamas understands this is a real deal because who the deal was made with, where and how the deal was made. So Hamas released the hostages because they have faith in Egypt, Saudi, UAE, and the individuals who were behind designing the 21-point plan. Do you guys understand that? Kimberly said he didn't make peace, people. God did it all. I'm going to get you out of here, Kimberly, because I don't believe you. I think you're trolling. I'm going to get you out of here. Dark Song Wolf, keep up the energy. When Israel break the ceasefire again, let me get you out of here. Because these dummies, they're just dumb. They just want to say dumb stuff. They don't know anything about it. And it's the same thing like with the Democrats. What do you do with the truth when you finally get it and it's not what you wanted it to be, and it prohibits you from being the same dickhead that you were? I think people get violent. They start to troll. And it's because they don't have enough intellect to do something else. Let's keep going. The agreement includes a phased approach. Phase 1 halts fighting and secures releases, while Phase 2, announced by Donald Trump as beginning right now, focuses on Gaza's reconstruction via new board of peace, international body, partial Israel troop withdrawals, and a step toward disarming Hamas. However, challenges persist. The remains of 28 deceased hostages are yet to be fully recovered, and Israel has threatened to cut aid trucks into Gaza if Hamas delays further. Citing ceasefire violations, world leaders, including Egypt's Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, praised the deal, but emphasized unresolved issues like Gaza's governance and a potential two-state solution. Even former President Joe Biden commended Trump. Do you hear this? Even former President Joe Biden commended Trump, noting his administration's earlier efforts freed over 130 hostages globally. Man, we don't want to hear about that, Sleepy Joe. This diplomatic win contrasts sharply with escalating domestic unrest in the U.S., where Trump's stimulus simultaneous deployments of National Guard troops to Democratic-led cities like Portland, Chicago, and Memphis have sparked widespread protests. Critics argue these moves, framed by White House as anti-crime and anti-immigration enforcement operations, amount to unconstitutional overreach, echoing Trump's 2020 interventions. What do y'all think, man? I am very proud of Trump. I can't say it enough. I am super proud of Trump. I mean, we got 6 months into this presidency. We already got a peace deal. I mean, we can move on to the next thing. President Donald Trump arrived in Washington, D.C. on October 14th, following a summit in Sharm, Egypt, where he finalized the first phase of the Gaza ceasefire agreement involving hostages release. prisoner exchanges, and Israel troop withdrawals. Israeli officials approved the deal, enabling the release of hostages like Noah Armani, while the body of Nepalese student Bipin Joshi was returned after his death in captivity. Global leaders, including Pakistan's Shehbaz Sharif, praised the accord and nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, though Hamas rejected disarmament terms, and reports of border incidents signal ongoing challenges. So we got people being released and going home on both sides, man. People being released and going home on both sides, man. This is great.
The guns were silent. I wish that were totally true. Hamas is going around and executing some Palestinians right now, torturing them in the streets, and apparently they plan to execute more tomorrow. I mean, these are bad people, and the idea that they're gonna, we don't know what's gonna happen next. When you said the guns were silent, I wish that were totally true. Hamas is going around and executing some Palestinians right now, torturing them in the streets, and apparently they plan to execute more tomorrow. I mean, these are bad people, and the idea that they're gonna de-radicalize or willingly give up their arms, I'm skeptical of. So I worry for the Palestinians actually because of what Hamas is now doing to them inside of Gaza. But I've been wearing this pin for 2 straight years, waiting for these hostages to come home. And I've been waiting to take it off, and I'm going to take it off tonight because the 20 people came out, and I met some of the families earlier this year, and I've been following their stories quite closely. And I'm going to replace it with an American pin, American flag pin, because in my opinion, this was a huge victory for the American people, led by our president. But it was only through the power and the force of will of the President of the United States that 20 people returned to their families, that we have the beginnings of the possibility of a peaceful era in the Middle East, and that maybe a future can be had by millions upon millions of people in a place where it's sometimes hard to visualize a future. And so I couldn't be prouder to be an American tonight, because without the United States and without our president, this doesn't happen.
Amen. Amen. Let's hear from MAGA right now. Let's hear clap it up for MAGA, man. MAGA, Macho, MAGA Tuesday, man. If it wasn't for Trump, I said make America great again makes the globe great again, because when you make America great again, you make the world great again, because we're #1 in the globe. We are the leaders. We've always been #1. Trump showed that with Iran. Trump showed that with Israel. Trump showed that you know who's watching this right now? Even though Portland is going on, you know who's seeing this? Putin is seeing this. And Putin is understanding the pressure, not just political pressure, not pressure from the media, but the fact that Trump got homies. You know what I'm saying? Where my homies creeping around the hood, where my homies up to no good. When Putin sees that Trump did this ceasefire with the UAE, with the Saudi, because these are the people that Putin has to trade with. America doesn't border Russia. These are the richest people over there with resources. These are people who Putin has to trade with and be friends with. And now they on the side of Trump. The UAE, the Saudis, everybody came together to broker this deal. And Putin now has to look and say, what if Trump does that to me? What if Trump does that to me? What if Trump is able to get all the surrounding oligarchs, not just regular people? Y'all got to understand what's happening with this peace deal. What if Putin is looking at this and saying, what if Trump is able to get these same individuals who control the world markets, who control the world's oil? Huh? I said UAE. I said Saudi royals. I said the deal was signed in Egypt. I said Putin is looking at this like shit. That's a hell of a leverage, because if Trump comes to me with all these people on his side, I don't have a fucking choice. I'm a politician. I'm not a king. And I can't go up against all the richest families in the fucking world. Do you understand what's going on with Putin? Putin and Bibi are fucking politicians. And Trump is the art of the deal. Trump is the best president in 20 years. And Putin is looking at this motherfucking peace deal. And Putin is understanding Trump could backdoor me. Trump could go behind me like he went behind Bibi and get a peace deal brokered with the big dogs and force me to sign it. Trump is the greatest. Do you know, because of this deal, peace is on the horizon. Putin don't want to look bad. Putin is very proud like Trump. Putin could read the room. Putin is not like the Democrat liberal idiots in my chat. Putin understands Trump has the leverage. Trump has the leverage. If Trump comes with the UAE and the Saudis and tells me to get out of the Ukraine and make a deal, Putin is going to make a deal. Putin is not going to make a deal with Trump and America, but Putin is going to make a deal with the coalition that just got peace in Gaza. You know how much political pressure, do you know how much the world had to tip to get peace in Gaza? It's more pressure needed to get Putin to the table. Do you guys understand that? Trump would not need this much pressure on Putin. There was a much bigger, that's why Trump did peace in Gaza first. Is anybody listening to what I'm saying? That's why Trump did peace in Gaza first, because he needed more political capital, right? He doesn't need that much leverage when dealing with Putin. Putin has already won. There's not as much death and carnage. They can go back. So if Trump brings that leverage that he brought to the 21-point plan, we could have peace in both conflicts by the end of the year. By Christmas, we could have peace in Israel and the Ukraine. Can you believe that? In the first year of his presidency, what does that say about Biden? What does that say about Biden? And I'm not just saying this shit. I'm saying it because I understand the bones of the 21-point plan. You do not understand the bones of the 21-point plan, and that it was signed in Egypt and it was approved by the UAE and the Saudis. It wasn't an Israel deal. Israel was forced to sign that deal. If you understand that, then you can see a light. When they already had the Alaska summit, I did that show, Trilateral Talks. I said Trump was caught on a hot mic. It's one of my highest viewed shorts. Trump caught on a hot mic saying Putin wants to do trilateral talks. Putin wants peace. What do you think Putin is at now? I think Putin is going to want to do peace before Trump makes him do peace. So Putin looks like he made his own decision. Because Bibi doesn't look like he was a part of this, or he is in control. I think politically, Bibi Netanyahu is going to get voted out and he may go to jail because they put politicians in jail in Israel. So Bibi Netanyahu is going to get voted out. He may go to jail for political corruption. What's going to happen with Putin? After Putin sees the way this plays out for Bibi, what do you think he's going to do? I argue there is a huge potential for peace this year. So first year Trump is in presidency, stops immigration. Can we have a real talk? I'm about to stop. Y'all don't want to give me likes. Y'all don't want to hit the super chat. I don't get no I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I didn't get my likes today. I didn't get my super chats today. Thank you, Miss Perfect Timing, for the $5. So I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I'm not even going to finish that point. I didn't get my likes. I didn't get my super chats. I didn't get my love today, but we presented a hell of a show. Black professional after black professional. Anybody lying to you about Memphis, they can't lie to you no more. Anybody lying to you about DC, they can't lie to you no more. Thank you for hitting the double tap. Thank you for showing that love. It means everything to a YouTuber. Mr. Perfect Timing, always on time, every time, full time. We love you too. I love you guys too. Great show today. So much information. That's what it's all about in a good podcast, man. Informative, entertaining, action-packed for an hour and 30 minutes. Woo! Kicking ass. My name is Perfect Timing Podcast. Well, my name is Perfect. You're watching the Perfect Timing Podcast. That's Mrs. Perfect Timing Podcast. This is the top of the mid-morning podcast from an OG perspective. We have discussed Trump ceasefire and ICE realities, the realities of National Guard, the realities of ICE on the ground is that Memphis is a safer place for blacks. Ain't that ironic from a racist president? The facts on the ground is that Washington, D.C., Chocolate City, is a safer place for black Americans. These are the realities on the ground. How can you say he's racist? How can you say you hate him? How can you say the things that you say when your life is being saved? Black lives are being saved in Memphis. Black lives are being saved in Chicago. Who do you think was dying in Chicago on Labor Day weekend? It was blacks. Who do you think those 346? I'm gonna ask Groke. I'm gonna ask Groke right now. What percentage? I'm gonna ask Groke right now. We're gonna stop playing around with these facts. What percentage of the homicides 300 in Memphis in 2023 were black? How about that question? How about that question? As we talk about the benefits of MAGA, huh? Percentage of black victims in Memphis homicides. In 2023, Memphis recorded a record high 398 homicides. Official totals vary slightly by source, with the Police Department reporting 398 total homicides, including murders of other categories, based in detailed analysis from local police data obtained by Fox 13 Memphis as of late November, covering 300 of the 7 of the year's cases. 89%, listen to this, you guys, 89% of the homicide victims were black. Can you believe it? It's not funny. We talking about dead. We talking about black death, and I'm laughing. But I'm not laughing. It's not funny. I'm just saying it's not surprising to me. But it's surprising to people. Shout out to Hood. Shout out to Hood Conservative. I know you be watching me. Hood, I like what you're doing. I got the best channel on YouTube. I got the best black conservative channel on YouTube. But shout out to you, Hood Conservative. Shout out to Sharon and the best podcast. But I got the best black channel talking about this political shit. And it's because I'm the most intellectual and I'm just smarter than you and Sharon. But I love you and I love what you're doing. Percentage of black victims in Memphis. So it says here that it was 346 to 398 homicides, right? The police report 398, but the liberal media report 346. Ain't that something? That's 50 deaths. That's 50 deaths. That's a lot of dead bodies. What if your dad or your brother was in that 50 and they didn't even count it? Now, what I wanted to know is, because we're talking about Trump being racist, right? And I'm arguing that Trump can't be racist because of who benefits from Trump's policies, right? And here it is right here. 89% of the homicide victims were black. We knew that already. 89% of the homicide victims are black. So who benefits in Chicago? Who benefits in DC? Who benefits in Memphis when the deaths stop? When the homicides go down, who benefits? Who is not dying in DC right now? When they became a safe zone, when I play video, no more shooting, who is the one being saved? That's my last little bit of information, man. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. We did the whole podcast with the nappy hair. I normally have my sponge. I couldn't find my sponge. Man. I got my Sealy. How y'all like the Sealy? Shout out to KT. Shout out to Chaotic Truth. Shout out to Chaotic. I cut my hair. I got my Chaotic Truth going right here. Cut my hair. This is my Chaotic Truth look right here. I'm way more attractive than Chaotic. That's my cousin though. Shout out to CT, Chaotic Truth. I remember when I used to do my podcast like every day, and Chaotic Truth came over to my show when I lived in Oak Park and I had a different studio. Who was that? That's Yeah Baby Podcast. Shout out to you. Thank you for that super chat. Chaotic Truth came over when he first started and he was like, man, I like your show. I like your podcast, how you got the lights and everything set up, and we chopped it up. And I remember he used to come over to the Roger Report, and he used to come over to my podcast. So I'm very proud of Chaotic Truth, the podcast and the platform he created, which is why I cut my hair. And so now Chaotic Truth got some competition, man. So shout out to you, brother, man. And so you gotta step it up, man. You gotta get your hair right, man. I gotta get my sponge, man. But yeah, man, we doing this shit over here, man. Conservative MAGA. And we just presenting facts, man. I don't want to have a war. I want America to be great for all of us. My argument is that America should be great, and the Democrats forgot about Southside Chicago. I'm going to say the Democrats forgot about South Sacramento. The Democrats forgot about East St. Louis. And Trump obviously cares. Trump is caring. Now, if you are pro-criminal, then you may not like what Trump is doing. If you are pro-felon, if you are pro-crime, you may not like what Trump is doing. But I've showed you black professionals, young, black, female, male and female, who are arguing that Trump is benefiting them, benefiting Memphis. They are saying thank you. And they are also perceptive enough to understand that we need to get politically advantageous to keep this going after the National Guard leaves. What do we do as the citizens of Memphis? What do we do as the citizens of Washington, D.C.? Do we vote Mayor Bowser in for a fourth term? She's been mayor 3 terms over 10 years. What do you do in D.C. if you want to keep the crime down? This is a real question for the citizens and the black professionals of D.C. If you like the safe zone, if you like the crime-free zone, what can you do to keep it going when the National Guard leaves? I argue you need to become more politically advantageous and look at the Democratic Party and look at your Democratic leadership. Maybe you might need to find new leaders. Maybe it's time for you to get off the Democratic plantation. And when you have a female black mayor who's been mayor for over 10 years, you have to look at yourselves as citizens. I'm going to put it back on you. I'm going to say to the citizens of Washington, D.C., to the citizens of Memphis, it's now on you. If the crime comes back, you can't blame Trump. You can't blame Trump. You have to blame you for not doing politics. You got to blame you for staying on the Democratic plantation and believing that the Democrats care about black life when they don't. It's been obvious to you, and it should be crystal clear now that the Democrats were okay with the death and the crime and the violence. That should be crystal clear, that the Democrats were condoning the death, the crime, and the violence. So what do you do now? They control me in the chat. They can say horrible things about me in the chat. What do you do, people of Memphis, if you want to keep the peace? What do you do, people of Washington, D.C., if you want to keep the police? Do you vote for Mayor Bowser for a 4th term? Do you give her another chance? Do you give the police chief in Memphis another chance? Because she wasn't keeping you safe. The police chief in Memphis was allowing criminals to walk by your house. Remember, she said, my kids can go outside. They always are. That was the black female police chief in Memphis, who you guys love so much. And you could not walk around. So which one do you want? Do you want a black female, or do you want to be safe? You're going to have to pick or choose, because you're going to get the choice to vote for that police chief. And she's going to come up there and say, we didn't need Trump, and vote for me. I'm a black woman. Are y'all going to fall for it again? Mayor Bowser, who could not answer an intelligent question under inquisition, she's going to do the same thing. Oh, vote for me. I'm a black woman. If you don't vote for me, your mama ain't black. Your mama black. Will you vote for her again? And if you do, and the crime comes back, I don't want to hear shit. MAGA, macho Tuesday. Every day at 11 a.m., we here. Every day at 11 a.m., same bad time, same bad channel. Double click, hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. My name is Perfect. Thank you for Yeah Baby Podcast for that $9.99 super chat. Thank you to Mrs. Perfect Timing for the $5 super chat. Thank you for everybody watching, listening. God bless you. God bless America. I'm out.